Come to Helmuth Ford, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Hi, this is Stacy from Shuttler Insurance Services. Come see me on the east side of the square in Sigourney for all your insurance needs.
The Retro Antique and Curiosities Crawl is this Friday and Saturday. Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Embark on a shop-hop adventure designed for people to discover hidden gems in shops and communities in a well-organized and distinctive antique shopping experience. With shops in Oskaloosa, Pella, and Eddyville. For more information, find Retro Antique Tour on Facebook. Come have a fun night with the band Brass Pair performing at the Keswick Tavern this Saturday night. The band will be playing from 8 to 11 p.m. with no cover charge. The Keswick Tavern is located at 117 South Iron Street in Keswick, Iowa. Brass Pair is an Eastern Iowa rock and variety band specializing in music from multiple genres. They're going to play the big, juicy hits this Saturday night at the Keswick Tavern from 8 to 11 p.m. No cover charge.
Today, Wednesday, May 7th. May I have roll call, please?
Baker.
Here.
Lentz. Here. Schultz.
Present.
Clark.
Here.
Conrad.
Present.
McLaughlin. Present.
Okay, approval of or amendment of the tentative agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the tentative agenda.
Second. Baker.
Yes.
Lentz. Yes. Schultz.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
The consent agenda. All items under the consent agenda will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a request is made prior to vote.
Can we do B separately?
B separate, okay.
What is H?
H? There's no H.
There's no H.
I was gonna say, I don't have any.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's it. I'm down in additional city business, I'm sorry.
I make the motion to the consent agenda with the exception of item B.
Second. Baker.
Yes.
Lentz. Yes. Schultz.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Okay, item B, approval of council accounts payable claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the council accounts payable plan.
Second.
Baker.
Yes.
Lentz. Abstain. Schultz.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Public hearings, I show nothing there. Additional city business. Keokuk County Economic Development, KCED report. Gary, can you fill us in, please?
So, a lot of activity right now about pulling together a fundraiser for the daycare center in Keokuk. That's scheduled for May 22nd in Lagos Acres. We'll be seeing information coming out probably in the next few days. we have kicked off an initiative within KCED to look for ways to expand housing options in the community. We've got a couple of ideas that we're exploring. No details ready to emerge yet, but it looks promising. Car show's coming up on the 12th of July. Farmers Market will start in June. I forget the exact date, maybe you can remember. But that's about it.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Update of the pavilion progress.
Hello.
Hello.
Greetings.
Hi, Stuart.
Hello, Cody.
Hello.
Angela Stewart.
So,
I just knew.
who else would be here for this update? So,
Right.
you are getting, Connie, I'll email you something. Everybody's getting a written summary of where we are with the project. So let me give you by the way, Stuart Grossman, past president of Kiwanis and current project manager, I guess, is my title around the project. So let me give you the summary, and then I'd like to go through the details. This is going to probably take 10 or 15 minutes. Could be faster, up to you guys as to how many questions you ask. So we've made a few changes to the design since we saw you last. There are a variety of reasons for them. We think they're all improvements. We have secured the funds needed to do the construction this summer. We have selected a general contractor, and he has selected subcontractors. We have changed the supplier of the pavilion structure. And then we are planning for construction to begin on Monday, July the 14th, after the KCED car show, and be ostensibly complete by Friday, the 22nd of August, the day before the Fountain Festival. There may still be like grass and things that need to be done, but the plan is the construction will be done and the stuff will be taken away. So, let me give you the details around each of those. So, the design changes, let me refer you to the pictures on the inside. So, the simplest one is we've deleted the cupola. I mentioned that the last time I was here, just didn't provide the value for the dollar. $10,000 for a thing on top of a structure just didn't seem to make sense. These images that you see here do accurately reflect the current design of the pavilion. The images that we have been using to date were architectural renderings that did not have all of the details in it as these do now. So a couple of important points. One, we repositioned the ramp from the side where it always felt like an afterthought and an appendage to replacing the back staircase as a ramp. And we discovered the last picture, which sort of looks a little different of the others, we discovered that there's a natural grade in that area anyway, and so that ramp will only need to be 10 feet long. So I had initial concern when it was first suggested that it might be this blockade that would block people walking across the grass. That will not be the case. So the foundation treatment, or finish, I believe. So originally we had spoken to you about, the architect had spec face the structure with manufactured stone so that it looked like the courthouse. We discovered a few things about that in the process of working with Matt. I'm sorry, unfortunately Matt doesn't have his hearing aids in at the moment, but this is Matt Welter, and he is our general contractor.
McDowell Construction is the general contractor. I work with Kelly.
Matt's been helping me a lot. Matt pointed out that one, there was to be a lot of extra labor to install that, and there would potentially be some maintenance problems with the grout lines and stuff. So he suggested to us, and we were like, well, we don't know. He pointed at the pieces on the next page, on page 4. There's a picture of the courthouse, the base of the courthouse, and then to the right is a picture of a mock-up that he built for us so that we could understand his vision of what he was proposing we do instead of facing the foundation with that stone. We very much liked it, and we decided to go forward with that change of the design. And then lastly, we had been concerned about the way the railing seemed to interfere with the view of things on the pavilion because of the vertical structure, the vertical slats. Matt suggested, well, why don't we just do a vertical railing? And we went, huh, can we do that?
Horizontal.
Sorry, that way. Not that way. So you heard that.
I couldn't hear your whispering earlier. I couldn't hear enough.
So he suggested we change the design of the railing, and lo and behold, we liked it better. It felt much more open, airy, reduced the blocking of the view. So we're going with that option. So those are the design changes that we have decided to make. Any questions about those?
Do these pictures reflect that last change in the railing?
They do.
Okay.
So I misspoke. They go horizontally
Okay.
now instead of vertically.
Okay, they're not vertical now. They'll
Right.
be horizontal like this is.
They'll be like the picture shows.
Okay.
I just misspoke. So, any other questions around
Does the ramp connect up with the sidewalk in the center of the courtyard?
the ramp does connect to the sidewalk that comes off, that circles the courthouse building.
The ramp will be short of that, but there'll be sidewalk from the ramp to the sidewalk, yeah.
Other questions? Okay. So a couple other material details. One would be the financing. So I say that we have secured all of the funding. The table on page 4 shows you how that's breaking down between cash, awarded grant from the Washington Foundation, pledges that we've gotten in recent weeks that have not yet made it to the bank, and then a credit line TBD. So we're still working with the club. Will it be one of us? Will it be 4 of us who go in and just guarantee that we have the funds needed to reach the 215 number, which is the final construction cost, plus the sign, the plaque for the recognized donors, the receipting, and a contingency in the event something shows up that we did not expect. So we're also actively fundraising. We have raised quite a bit in the last 30 days. It's amazing what happens when you have a real number and we say we're going to do it. So we're hopeful that none of that credit line will be required, but we'll stand behind it and make sure the cash is there if it's needed. There's a list of the contractors. They're mainly local. I mentioned the material, the pavilion structure supplier was changed. So we really struggled with the supplier we were planning to use, which is a Michigan-based company that works through, I want to say resellers, but that's a generous term. And so as it turns out, in the period of time that we were working on the pre-construction design challenges, we were introduced to a fabricator in Knoxville who has a commercial steel fabrication company. And after going and visiting with him, meeting the owner, doing some due diligence around background checks and checking into the business, we decided that that would be an opportunity to both effectively manage the production, because it's local, Matt has a connection to the shop, so we know that it will get done. It'll get done on the accelerated production schedule to meet the deadlines. We had the ability to change the railing because we were going with that fabrication, because we don't have to buy it off the shelf, we get to make it. And then lastly, we get the pavilion structure and the railing an exact color match because they're both gonna go to the powder coater at the same time. So, the construction schedule I talked about. The one additional detail that I think part of this may be you guys is in order to minimize any impact on the area around the pavilion, we would like to stage the construction materials on Jefferson Street in the spots that are parking places between the east entrance walkway to the courthouse and the south corner at, was that Marion Street on that end? So we'd like to block off those parking spots and put up a 6-foot perimeter fence to protect the structure, or the construction and the people from the construction. So I don't know who controls the parking spots, whether, I think it's you guys, because they're city streets, but it's in front of the county. It's gonna impact their business more than you, I think, but I don't know who has to dot the I and cross the T to make that one happen. So, that is the story. Questions, concerns, feedback? So it was 4 years ago this month that I first came to talk to you about this project. And I am delighted to say it's going to happen this summer. So thank you for your patience. None of us thought it would take this long to get here. We found there was a long distance between concept and construction. And thankfully, we were introduced to Matt, and Matt has done a masterful job at guiding us through, oh, that's a nice idea, but you can't really build it like that. And, oh, this might be a better way given what's going on. And I just really have appreciated him as a collaborator and the ability to say, hey, I like that, but what about X? And he's been just Johnny on the spot with, well, let's try it that way then and see what happens. So thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
All right, nothing else? I will.
Congratulations, Stuart.
Thank you, Connie.
Yes, so 4 years might seem like a long time, so it'll be fun to watch your vision come true.
Thank you. So I don't know what paperwork or sign-offs or things we need to do to sort of move through the agreement that we put in place 4 years ago. So whatever guidance you or John Weir should offer us around, like, here's that box checked, here's that box checked, here's that box checked.
Because we were supposed to approve the final design before you put it up, so that we knew what we were getting
Right.
at the end of the project.
Yes. And it was, I know we were very careful to not put that you had approval in it, but there was certainly a collaboration and a consultation, and I have always felt that if you guys don't approve, at least informally, I don't want to move forward, so. Shall I just take that up with John and we'll bring it to another council meeting?
I think we're going to have to go to another council meeting anyway, because we're going to need to meet and talk about approving the changes and approving the parking spaces. We're going to have to coordinate that with the county.
Right. Okay.
So it's going to take another council meeting to fully approve it.
Fabulous. I will check with Ash, or see if I can get on the schedule for now. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, it's just the general contractors.
Okay, item C, discussion and possible
I've been
approval
talking
of
with-
flagpole
I've been talking with her to
at
see if
soccer
we
and
need to.
flag football complex.
So,
Who's speaking to this?
Heather Fisher came to Alan Sellers a couple weeks ago and said the American Legion had bought a flagpole to put up out at the flag football soccer fields. So they just are wanting to get your blessings to put it up. Renters is gonna do the Renters is gonna do the concrete and put it up, and Lara and Alan, the directors of soccer and flag football, are going to be in charge of putting up and taking down the flag.
Okay, and who's paying for this? American Legion?
Yes, it's already been bought, and
For the foundation and everything?
Renters is going to do that.
Oh, renters is
Yeah.
taking care of that cost.
Correct.
Okay.
Will it just be toward the entrance?
Donnie, did you find a spot today?
No, I
You-
think that should be Alan and Cody and Lara, not me. I mean, they talked about having by the concession stand, but I think they ought to make that decision.
Okay.
And I was gonna text Alan tomorrow and tell him that if you guys approve it, why then they can go out there, so.
Do we need an invitation before we approve it?
I don't think.
No. I don't think so, but, okay.
I make a motion to approve the installation of flagpoles at the soccer flag football complex.
Second.
I was just gonna say, that's being furnished by the American Legion and installed by Renters Construction at a location to be determined by two directors of soccer and football. Sorry.
Second.
Rose Baker,
Yes.
Lentz. Yes. Schultz.
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conrad,
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Okay, item D, discussion possible approval, community safety net program.
I had a lady call me last week with this community safety net program. She is working with Richard Fortney at the Keokuk County Emergency Management. And I only put it on there, she's asking for sponsorship from the city. So I told her I'd put it on there knowing that typically the city doesn't sponsor anything. It's like a booklet to give to families so they are prepared for fires, an emergency plan to exit their house in case of the fire. So that's basically, so, and I did call Rich, because I was like, well, maybe this is not legit, and he said, no, they are working together. The two companies are working together.
So what exactly would we be approving?
It's $16 per family, and he was looking at the city sponsoring 10 families.
Okay,
Subsidiary sponsoring how many families?
10?
so
And-
$160 then for the city, correct?
Yes.
Would that open us up to being, sponsoring other committees as they came forward then too?
I believe so, and I did ask Selena, our auditor, but she never got back to me. Like I said, I'm just putting it on there so that I can explain to the lady that whichever way we decide to go.
Right.
I would say we table this until we get a little bit more information.
Second.
Rose Baker?
Yes.
Lentz? Yes. Schultz?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Conrad?
Yes.
McLaughlin?
Yes.
Okay, discussion and possible approval of purchasing chute blocker plates for city lawn mowers. Is that Brent or Donnie?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
We're looking at getting some chutes that we can close the deck of the lawnmowers. We're having a lot of problems with blowing grass towards the pool, wind blowing, towards the playground, towards kids, and the pickleball court, and over here at the other park. It just would save us a lot. And we'd be able to move those from one mower to another when we trade in, so.
What have we done in the past about that?
We've tried to just blow it the opposite way as much as we can, but with the pickleball court, we just have no way to do it anymore. So.
And
we
what's
gotta
the
do
cost?
something. $800 for 2 mowers.
So that's like,
$800 times 2, correct, Brent?
No, that's total,
Oh, okay.
and it'll do 2 mowers.
Got you, okay.
And they're reusable.
Yeah, they're reusable. So when we trade in, we can reuse them.
Turns the mower into a mulching head?
Yeah, yep. And when we're mowing out at the park, it's really hard because there's always kids around, and it'd just be nice, it'd be a safety deal too.
So I make a motion, we approve the purchasing of the chute blocker plates for the city lawnmowers.
Second.
Baker,
Yes.
Lentz,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conrad,
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Next, discussion and possible approval, City Hall roof claim.
So, the hail damage in 2013, City Hall is the last roof that needs to be replaced. This is the price to be replaced. More just telling you guys that that's what the insurance is gonna pay. And this quality control is the company that's going to be replacing.
Did you say 2013?
Did I say 2023?
2023.
Sorry.
You're just approving this claim?
Yeah, basically that, he's gonna come in, the, contractor, so we can pick out shingles and do all the things, and it's going to be done before the end of the fiscal year, so we keep everything together.
So this is what they're gonna pay. This is what the insurance claim will cover.
Yes, on the next one, finalizing the whole thing, so we haven't received any money from the insurance company yet. And on the next slide, for all the buildings that were damaged, is the total amount that insurance is going to pay.
Do we have a bid on this? I mean, is the insurance money going to cover it? Oh,
It looks to me like this is a bid from
From the
Quality Control Restoration that apparently has been approved by the insurance company.
Yes, yep.
Why does it say Sigourney Police on it?
Yeah, it's not coming, I mean, it's, I can't explain, I don't know. That's how the quality control put it, because that's what it says on the front of the building.
Oh, okay.
So we don't expect any additional costs to the city beyond what's on the sheet.
So I make a motion, we approve the city hall roof claim.
Second.
Baker,
Yes.
Lentz,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conrad,
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
okay, next, discussion and possible approval of finalizing the insurance claim.
So here's all the buildings that, were damaged, been repaired. And at the bottom, the total claim is $119,000. They were gonna keep the $6,400 if we didn't replace the whole roof at City Hall. But we're replacing the whole roof, so we're gonna get the $119,000.
So that 113, what is that then?
That's less the $500 deductible and
Oh, got
the almost $6,500.
Yeah, okay. I see that.
So I didn't know, does that need to be approved, or do we need to approve that?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, but I didn't know, I put it on there to be, I didn't know if it needed to be.
So that's just for information only and no approval needed?
Yeah,
Okay.
good, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Next, discussion of City of Sigourney government crime bond.
We got notice in the mail that this, I didn't even know existed, crime bond. I can give it to you. You all know that they were non-renewing it. I let Paul Horak know that they were non-renewing it, and he said he would look at getting something else put in place. Do you have any?
Sure, yeah, sure. So there are several ways that you could cover crime for the city. Would be like employee dishonesty, if if there was embezzlement happening, something like that. Sometimes it's covered under the insurance policy, and sometimes a bond is required. And so this bond is just guaranteeing if that was to happen that the bond would pay. But the way that a bond works, like the city's still going to reimburse that. A bond is different than insurance. So if ICAP doesn't provide it then you can go to a different carrier or get a bond for it. But I can't read it, so I can't tell why it's not being renewed.
I'm sorry, Stacy, I didn't hear the last. Your last two sentences.
Oh, that it could be, so you can, if ICAP doesn't provide it as a coverage within the package, then you can either purchase a separate insurance policy for it, or you can purchase a bond for it.
Okay.
So there are several ways to cover those types of crime claims. So it is crime within the organization, not crime that occurs to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's usually that internal.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm, sure.
So what is this costing us?
Well, they're not doing it, so nothing.
Like I said, I didn't even know that this was a thing with the city until I got a.
Did we have one in the past?
Yes, this one.
Did you get disconnected? Okay. Hold on a second.
Would we have gotten the notice if we didn't have the coverage before we got the notice?
No, so it, like I said, I can't see very far, but it would say why it's not being renewed, but otherwise, a bond a lot of times just renews and you get the bill in the mail for it. There isn't usually underwriting that goes into that renewal of the bond.
Hello.
Here we go.
Okay, very good. So where are we at?
Oh, we're just talking about the government crime bond.
Okay, yeah. You may have to start over. I don't know what that is.
I just put it on there so you guys knew that it was non-renewing. And Paul Horak is looking at finding something else.
Okay.
It's for a crime within the city employees,
So if
like
you're,
like embezzlement.
yeah,
and
or forgery. of some sort,
Forgery,
yep.
things like that. And I'm still not clear, did we have one in the past?
That is what
You
this
do,
is.
you do now,
That's what
they're
this
just not
is.
renewing it from the looks of it.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So we're exposed.
Unless it's
Not that
already
I'm worried
built
about it,
into
but
our
we're exposed.
policy.
Right.
I'm assuming it's already built into our ICAP policy.
It sounds like the insurer is looking for options and will be presenting us with those at some time in the near future.
So we're not in a lapse condition or anything like that? Okay.
Well, this is just for discussion, not for voting, so. And we're going to be looking into that farther then, further? Okay.
And this runs till July 1, is that right?
This is separate from our actual ICAP policy.
Yeah.
But when is that?
It says
So-
there's an effective date of 7/1/25 on here, so. Which I assume is the notification of cancellation.
So that's something that will not be covered.
So we have something, we're covered up to July 1, so that's,
Yes.
right?
That's the day we start. Just kidding.
No, you can only do it until that, because there's coverage until that day. Sorry, that's like bad insurance humor.
Okay, aside from the insurance, discussion of possible approval of allowing Stacy Flynn, the Legacy Insurance Group, to make an agent of record change for the city's insurance policy. Renewal 7/1/2025. Stacy, if you please.
I have a handout for you, I'm sure you're all. There you go. Hi, Connie. It's Stacy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Ashley said I had like an hour to speak today, so no, I'm joking. On insurance, isn't that what you're talking about? Okay, so I made it really simple. I did a summary on the back, so I'll just go through the summary. If you can't sleep tonight and you want some reading to help put you to sleep, you can go through it. Just talks a little bit about, so for those of you that maybe haven't worked with me before or don't know about my agency, it talks about me, my background, talks about our agency itself, our history, talks about the professional designations that I have, and then kind of considerations and next steps. But we'll just flip to the very back and we will review it. So I'm here to talk to you about the ICAP, which is the package carrier, and then the work comp policies. So those are provided through ICAPs through the pool and through the work comp is through the municipal program. And so the way that that works is the rates are the same regardless of who you utilize for an insurance agent, right? The rates or the premiums that are charged are based on what your exposures are. So the buildings that you have, how much they're worth, what your deductibles are, how many vehicles you have, the type of equipment that you have, things like that, okay? So from a cost standpoint, it doesn't really matter who you work with, you kind of get to just choose who your preferred person is. If you hadn't worked with me before, I did the city's insurance from 2007 until 2016 when I did work here locally. I went and worked for a large agency and then came back in 2020 and started my own. So Legacy Insurance, we are here in Sigourney. It'll be our 5th anniversary next month. Like I said, we are locally owned, so I am the owner of it. It's not owned by anyone, any company or anything else. I'm the owner. It's an independent agency. The big focus or the big drive to do this now, if you don't know, Horrocks got sold to a very, very large national firm. So your premium dollars now are not staying within the community. So I know I met with the county on Monday. I know that's a big driver to keep money local and to work with someone local. So it was a good time to talk to you guys. From a me standpoint, I have done insurance since I was 15, which is more than 25 years, but you can do the math on that. So I started when I was 15. I have a lot of credentials, actually speak across the United States in terms of insurance-related topics. Like last week I was in DC, and we met with legislators on topics that are really important to us in Iowa as it relates to insurance, like how to keep property rates down, crop insurance, those things that are important to us. So I'm very passionate about, obviously, education and protecting what we do have here. If you do want to make the switch, like I said, it's really easy. You sign a letter. Ashley and I meet just to review the budget figures, vehicle lists, things like that. And then ICAP gives us the renewal, and so you would just meet with me instead of who you're meeting with now. So rates stay the same, coverage is the same. You just have someone local to work with. What questions do you guys have?
This won't cost the city any more money.
Right. It may cost less, possibly, just because I know when I worked for Horrocks, they had charged an additional fee. I don't know if they still do, but there's no fee that I charge for it. So it wouldn't be any more. Yeah, that's a good question.
There's one building in question,
Okay.
and this has been kicked around quite a bit.
Okay.
Who owns Memorial Hall? And there's not a clear answer on that, and right now we're investigating that.
Okay. But you're paying for the insurance on it, or at least you used to. I know.
Well, probably are,
Yeah.
but if we're not the owners.
Right. Then you don't have an insurable interest in it. That's
Right.
a good question.
So I'm curious about the other insurance companies within the city.
Mm-hmm.
So, their involvement with ICAP as well.
Yes, so ICAP, I don't know how many cities, I know ICAP does have 84 of the counties. A lot of the ones that they don't cover because they're self-insured. So they're larger and they are not purchasing insurance or going through a pool of any sort. So it doesn't mean that those 15 have decided not to be part of ICAP, it's just some of those are already insuring their own. Like I said, from the city standpoint, I'm not quite sure how many of the cities, but ICAP does represent the largest percentage of public entities in Iowa.
I'm meaning the other insurance companies within the city of Sigourney.
Oh, okay. If there are any, or what's your question, Connie? Sorry, maybe I didn't understand.
Well, I just didn't know, you know, we try to get bids from other entities when we're looking at making a purchase or, you know, doing a contract and stuff. And would there be a conflict between other insurance companies in the city of Sigourney?
Not that I know of. I'm most familiar with ICAP's program just because that's who I had you guys insured with and worked with when I did the city's insurance.
I think she's meaning like Town and Country,
Oh,
the other,
okay.
the one down by
So-
you, if we would have to give them a chance, but there's really no premium
There's
dollars.
no premium
that's-
dollars. It's choosing who you want to provide the service to. Okay, I understand what you're saying.
I do like the idea of keeping things local.
I do too.
I think that's a positive.
And you have experience with the city,
Yes, I did it for almost 10
past.
years, yeah.
so.
Yeah. And you didn't fire me. I did leave to
You
do
fired
large
us, is what you're saying, right?
It's not costing the city any more to stay local,
It would.
so.
So it seems like favorable.
So I would make the motion to approve Stacy Flynn with the Legacy Insurance Group to make an agent of record change. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Second.
It's not a question.
On the city's insurance policy, renewal of July 1 of 2025.
Second. It's not a touchscreen.
Oh,
Sorry.
my computer.
Prospector,
Yes.
Lentz,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conrad,
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Thank you. So
Thank you, Stacy.
I'll touch base with you, and then when you've got time, we'll get together, and then you guys decide how often you want to see me. So if you want me to come after the renewal and
Twice a
look,
week.
as long as
Twice a
you're not
month.
asking for money, right? So if you want to, after renewal time, come back and kind of see how it changed from last year in terms of rates and coverage and things like that, we can meet and do that. If you're open to that, that'd be great. Okay, great. Thank you very much. I look
Do
forward to
you
working
need to
with
be
you.
involved in that last question we had about?
Yes. So I will talk to Ashley and take a look at what is already on the ICAP package, how much there was on the bond, and then see what the best option is moving forward from a cost and coverage standpoint. Yes, absolutely. Good question.
Now that we approved that, I'm not gonna force checks just to.
Okay. Okay. Well, until July 1st.
Right.
So, as far as the agent, would that be July 1 or is that?
Yes, so yes and no. So what happens is Ashley will send a letter saying it's okay for ICAP to send the renewal stuff, and so I would start working on it now. And then July 1st is when the renewal policy takes
That's
effect.
effective.
Yes, yeah. If you have like any equipment changes or vehicle changes or anything like that in the meantime, I can help facilitate that. Yep. And you don't have to call anyone to do anything. ICAP takes care of that. So you send a letter and then ICAP does the notifications. Any good question? Anybody else? Thank you guys very much. I appreciate your time.
Okay, next, Park and Rec. Discussion of possible approval of hiring a flag football director for the 2025 flag football season. Do we have an applicant?
Alan Sellers.
A great resume.
He has done it for the past,
Forever.
yeah. So he turned this in, that he wants to be the flag football director.
I'll make a motion to approve the hiring of Alan Sellers for the flag football director for the 2025 flag football season.
Second.
Prospector,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conrad,
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
street and sanitation, discussion and possible approval of purchasing the 6-foot soil conditioner from H&M.
A few months back, we got rid of a sweeper that we didn't use anymore for our skid loader, and we wanted to use that money towards this attachment for fixing where we have water leaks, sewer leaks, sinkholes, just general seeding and stuff like that. Mulch, leveling out the playground mulch. And I got a quote from H&M. I got two actually, but the other one was double. So I just gave Ashley this one. We just like to.
So what is this?
It is a land leveler, soil conditioner. It's just a rotary tine deal that goes on the front of the skid loader.
It'll make it look more civilized when you walk away.
Yeah, yeah, instead of, yeah.
That'll make it a little.
It just churns up the dirt and.
And you push it
Yep.
at the,
And it'll save money in the long run
Yeah.
by you guys fixing the yards instead of hiring them.
We still may have to hire if we have
Some
to get
big
in there
ones.
and till it, if we have to till it, but for the most part, this will do what we need to do.
I'll make a motion, approve the purchase of a 6-foot soil conditioner from H&M.
Second.
Good try.
Post Baker,
yes.
Lentz,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conrad,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
We're supposed to say something about the amount in our motions.
Yeah, I can't see it.
6,900. I know, this is blurry and it drives me nuts, but we'll have one read.
Okay, next, do we need to amend what we just passed, or because of the cost?
That cost the whole night, so
Okay.
just keep going.
Set street and sanitation committee meeting.
We decided the next 2 Mondays at 6.
That works for me.
Can we switch it to Tuesdays, the next
I
two?
don't know, let me look.
You're
I'm not
retiring.
sure. No, I got stuff going on. You're-
No?
Let me look.
Connie?
May, are you talking Tuesday, May 13th at 6?
And the 20th.
What's that?
Yes.
No, this is my calendar.
Let him focus, figure out a day.
I can't do it 13th.
Okay, so we'll keep it on, that one on the Monday
Yeah, I've
then.
got a grandchild at a music concert, so,
Aww.
you know.
So you're looking at keeping it on Monday, May 12th
Well,
at 6?
that didn't work for somebody. Who didn't it work for?
I'll make it work.
We'll make it work.
Oh. Okay.
And then Tuesday, the
20th.
20th at 6.
Okay, both of them at 6 o'clock?
So we'll do the 12th and the 20th, is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
That works for me.
I think the 20th was optional if we
If we
need.
need it,
Yeah.
which we can figure that out after the 12th. All right. What time, 6?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Water and wastewater. Discussion of possible approval of recommendation regarding water rates and water surcharge.
So the top one, the water rate, right now is $23.76. With the 5% increase, it's going up to $24.95. And so at the bottom, currently for 1,000 gallons, it's $81.86. It will go up to $85.22 with the water and the sewer rate.
And this is consistent with an annual increase that we discussed last year.
Currently, we're just doing the water and the sewer. The sanitation may change once we have these other meetings.
We just don't know water this point.
Oh, yeah, just water, the
Yeah.
water line for this one.
So,
We don't have to, I mean, this is in place, so we don't have to do anything, we're just gonna leave it, right?
Oh, do we not?
Correct, because that's, I mean, our ordinance says it's gonna
That we
increase
can do
5%.
that. Okay.
So unless we don't do anything or decide it has to be 10 or whatever, that's when we have to approve.
So we can just,
Yeah.
okay, sure.
And this is the second of 5 years, if I remember correctly, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
yes.
it is, yeah.
Yes. So we're good.
You don't need a motion on that because you say possible approval.
The resolution has the next 5 years set, unless you make a
So unless
change.
you do something different.
Okay.
So we're not gonna vote on that? Because I am not in favor of that, I guess.
It's already been voted on
You voted on
last year. So unless we would not go ahead with the 5%, we would have to take action to suspend that.
So historically, I thought, we would always go to committee and the committee would make a recommendation regarding the proposed rates, the water rates and sewer and sanitation. I mean, that's what was historically done. Like, I know that we voted on that last year, but that was a 10% and then it was supposed to be 5% after that for the following year. But we weren't all in favor of that.
So in the ordinance that was created and passed last year, it has the next 5 years for water, sewer, and sanitation rates. And so that's what they're saying when we don't have to vote on it because it's already in the ordinance.
But before we have the, I guess, I'm not.
If you wanted to make a motion
Before
to,
we had the opportunity to even decrease it if we didn't feel that it was necessary.
if you wanted to make a motion that it be something other than 5%, that would be the only motion.
I just don't want to vote for the 5%. My vote would be no for the 5%. And if, I know that it would not, it would not pass, but I just want to have this, acknowledged that I don't approve of the 5%.
Okay. I think we're pretty clear on that.
So unless you'd rather make a motion to not approve what is already in place, then there's no voting that needs to take place right now.
Yeah, I don't have a motion, no. I'm just opposed to the rate.
Okay, next is discussion possible approval of recommendations regarding sewer rates and sewer operating and maintenance rates.
And that would be the same thing that I had said in the water rates. I do not approve the sewer rates. I thought they were too high last year, and I don't approve of the 5% every year for the next 5 years. I don't agree with that. So, I know that we're going to not make a motion or a recommendation on that, but I just want to go on record as saying I'm not in favor of that.
And this is an increase of,
So we're paying 29.57
The
now,
10% for last
and it's going up to 31.05.
so we're talking 43,
$1.48.
okay.
But if we're
Not making changes.
So noted.
okay, all right, next.
Okay, we're finished with those. Discussion possible approval of WTP softener control upgrades.
Which one do you want to talk about first?
Doesn't matter. Out at the water plant, we've had some issues for the last several years with our softeners. This would be, which one is this? That's the SCADA system, that's the opposite one. This one here is in with the other part that I'm gonna talk about. This part would be tying everything together and giving us two ways to basically run the water plant. Right now, lightning hits us, we're down for months because there's no equipment available. If we have this, we basically have two computers set up that are running the whole water plant. The other part is You switched it, Ashley. The softer part. This is just the control panel for our softeners out at the water plant. They're all programmed, everything's timed. It runs by gallons, and it's basically just updating things that are way behind.
So on the controls, you said you'll have two systems.
It's basically, we're putting in a SCADA system. So right now, we have everything on a panel view, and that's what that's the brain of the whole water plant. We put the SCADA system in, we'll have a separate computer that will always have this on it, and we can run everything from it.
Where will it be located?
It'll be at the water plant too.
So how does that?
But you can remote in, and
You use the example if you get hit by lightning.
so say we get hit by lightning and it takes out the panel view. And because it's happened to us before, you're sitting there how many months to get another panel view? So if we had this, we wouldn't be sitting there waiting. We could use the other to run it.
So this is a
Wouldn't
system
that hit this
that,
We've got protection on
so on a different compute system,
it. Correct.
you've got the same functionality
Yes.
that you have on the panel.
And that way, electric pump would also be able to have our files, they could remote in and just fix it. We wouldn't have to sit there and wait. We wouldn't have to do anything because they'd have our program already on a file.
So what do you have that's gonna protect the new system from damage in the event of a lightning strike?
We've got lightning protection out there now.
Oh, you do?
We got hit in, what year was it? I don't know what year it was, and it fried everything. And so we put some pretty good lightning protection on it. We haven't had a problem, but just a backup for what can happen.
So what's this gonna cost?
47,000.
40, yeah.
The current panel view is probably what, 2020, at least
2008.
2008. The softening program, and that is 1994. It is never.
We
been
just need to
touched.
update.
And this cost update is already covered under what we're currently bringing in.
We've got money set aside in our water surcharge, plus we've got money put into the budget for
So this isn't gonna cost citizens anymore.
it. Not anymore.
It's already,
No, it's building. It's basically just maintenance.
We've had some issues with that, and we've been lucky to find
Everything's just
parts.
been kind of pieced together over the years, and this will make everything nice.
So the two are integrated.
Yes.
Correct.
The
Yes,
software
everything's
program.
gonna, yes, everything's gonna be hooked together. Right now, we're two separate things, and it just doesn't,
And you say the software program is how many years old?
94.
94.
It's a run on Abacus?
No, it's a, I don't even know what it is.
I don't even know what it is. We've made changes and kind of upgraded little stuff, but for the most part, it's ancient.
I mean, they don't even have the parts for it anymore.
It
We
processes.
put used stuff in.
It's a little caveman inside.
so I make a motion to approve the WTP softener control upgrades.
Second.
Osbaker,
Yes.
Lentz,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conrad,
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Next, Public Safety. Public Safety Committee report.
So the Public Safety Committee met last week, and we had a few topics to discuss. First was, we're going to use Design House to create a ticket book for Doug to use to enforce our codes, our municipal codes. We didn't before have a ticket for that. We looked at purchasing an outside company, and then Doug reached out to the design house, and they said they could create the same thing. And they're local, and it would cost a lot less for us. And there's a photo of the ticket book, or a citation. These would be citations that Doug could go around through the city, and any violation, as you can see there, he could go ahead and issue the citation, and that fine could be paid to the city. Secondly, any questions on that?
Is it gonna be one like a carbon copy?
Yes.
Okay.
It is carbon copied, so there will be one, there'll be a record that, there'll be a copy that stays with the city, and then there'll be one that is given to the violator as well.
One comment, did you see the edit that I made on it?
Yep, he
Yes.
sent that to CC to get changed.
So this will just help Doug be able to perform his duties a lot easier. The second topic, I think it was last city council meeting, we had City Dietrich and Billy Claywell here. There was discussion about the apartments in the 100 block of South Jefferson Street, I believe. There's kind of they're kind of going back and forth as to the hallway and all that stuff, as you well know from the last meeting. It was brought to the Public Safety Committee after speaking with Doug. As of now, there is no violation of city ordinance pertaining to Billy painting the windows on the first floor of the building there. And then Billy was, I believe, complaining about not fixing the hallway on his side because of Dietrich's roof. So again, there's no city ordinance that is being violated right now. What we talked about was, with Billy's concern, was he was claiming that Dietrich's roof was the reason why he wasn't fixing his hallway portion. So we said that that should be cleared up with a rental inspection through Doug when they go to rent her apartment. That's a part of the rental inspection, is checking the roof. So if there's any discrepancies there, that should be brought to light with that. And then we also talked about maybe looking forward with creating ordinances to prevent any kind of coverage on windows on the first floor of the businesses around the city, or the square. We just talked about it, we haven't put anything in place or brought any recommendations to you yet. And then we talked about, we had a complaint, we've had several complaints about a residence in town that has numerous dogs that are barking nonstop. We spoke with Doug about that, the code enforcer. He has already issued them one citation, I believe, but the problem still continues. So we were looking at maybe different avenues to approach, and in that conversation we were talking about within the city limits, maybe looking at limiting the number of animals you can have at your residence. This is, the homes in town aren't acreages, they're small properties, majority, and we thought that is it humane for a dog or a cat or whatever, if you have 4, 5, 6 animals living on a property, is that humane for the animal to be confined that way, especially when you have that many? So again, we're not bringing anything to the council yet, we were just kind of in talks of that. And this would also help with maybe the limitations of animals and apartments that we have around the square and other parts of the city. And Gary was talking about, what grant was that?
Put me on the spot.
We were talking about we needed to start looking at cleaning up parts of the city in order to be recognized for funding.
Oh,
Was it
I know
the-
what you're talking about, yes. We got some information from IEDA, excuse me, IEDA, in the form of what they call the Downtown Design Guide, excuse me, which provides, as the name suggests, guidelines for buildings in the business district, which for us would be predominantly on the square. IEDA has informed us informally that if we don't have some type of guideline like that, it's going to be difficult to get grants in the future to continue what we started on the south side, for example.
So we're just, as the committee, just trying to actively look at what we can do to better ourselves for the future, to make Sigourney better. And then lastly, just in public input, we talked about maybe looking outside of our city council, and maybe looking at something, a larger attorney firm that would that specializes in that type of stuff. But again, nothing has been, we have no recommendations yet to bring to the board, or the council, so that was it. Questions?
Okay, thank you. Finance, I'm showing nothing. Human Resources, nothing. City Clerk, set the date, time for notice of public hearing on city estimate for fiscal years July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2026.
Make a motion, we set the public hearing on the city budget estimate for fiscal year July 2025 through June 30, 2026 for May 21st at 6 p.m.
Second.
Postbaker,
Yes.
Lentz,
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conrad,
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
That's May 21st, 6 p.m. Thank you. Okay, public input. We don't have any public here right now. Council. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm good.
You said, do you have any input for us?
I do not.
Okay, was there anything you wanted to talk about because you came in late?
We have a meeting.
Oh,
Yeah, we've got a meeting after. Yeah.
Okay. Council, any input?
Just a comment, the city website went live on Monday.
Oh,
Great.
fantastic.
It does look good.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, I entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So,
Second.
Postbaker,
Yes.
Lentz,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Clark,
yes.
Conrad,
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Thank you, Connie.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.